A recent study published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows 40% of parents are feeding their babies solid foods before 4 months of age. As a new parent myself, I've had a lot of questions about when to start solids, and there's a lot of conflicting information out there. Well, this morning, clinical dietitian Anna Busenberg with Franciscan St. Elizabeth Health is here to talk about this new study and the concerns about starting solids too early. Good morning, Anna. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about this study. Kind of alarming, was it, to learn that 40% of parents are starting solids so early?
It's a rather large percentage, and so that's kind of what prompted me to take a look into this. As a pediatric dietitian, I work with a lot of parents that want to start their kids on solid foods as soon as possible, and it's a very exciting time to have your kid starting to eat regular food. But the American Academy of Pediatrics suggests that 6 months of age should be the point where you start that introduction of solid foods.
And when we talk about solids, this is usually first, right?
Yes.
Cereal?
Any type of cereal, rice cereal, oatmeal, anything like that. It is soft. Obviously, you can change the consistency of it, and so that is a great food to start with. And note, do not add the rice to the bottle in any instance.
Right.
Sometimes a
Unless the doctor
pediatrician
says so.
or a dietitian will come up with a recipe, and so often that's for babies that have reflux issues.
Okay.
But only put the rice in the bottle if you're suggested to do that by your physician.
What's kind of the concern about starting? What could be problems associated with starting solids too early?
Well, often the child may not be ready, and so they may have a choking episode or something that kind of makes the rest of that feeding experience as they get older maybe a little slower, or they're a little more hesitant to try those new foods. Also, there's been some issues with allergies, so if you have a family history of that, to maybe delay starting some of those allergy risk foods. But for the most part, 6 months of age is the appropriate time to start with this.
And you usually start with a cereal. What about, when you introduce the single vegetable foods?
I like starting with vegetables. Again, you could start with fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I've heard that if you start with fruits, then your child may not like the vegetables later on.
Well, fruit is sweet, and we all love fruit, and so getting kids to eat vegetables is often the challenge. So that's why I like starting with that, to prompt them to like that more at the beginning.
And usually after they have a good handle on cereals, those vegetables, and then you kind of just progress from there, right?
Right, and having them have their own spoon, putting it on their high chair with them, having them play and get messy with the food allows them to taste it, smell it, touch it, and have that whole sensory experience.
Some good advice. Well, thank you again for coming in today and talking about this very important topic. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well,